1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. We're away in Singapore. And a great start from Cabezas Speed, but he's come across Wedding, and there's contact at the start. Cabezas lost his rear wing, and McLaren's lost his front wing, and Cabezas gone wide. He spun around, and there's a Mercedes involved as well. Drama at the start at Singapore. As Danny leads away from Rosella and Wedding, who appears undamaged. Then we got Alex Guzhizny, Lomph, Brendan Ross. But Danny leads the way. High drama already, despite the low numbers. Guzhizny having a move, and there's, I think that is the Mercedes in the wall there. Can't tell which one there. That's Lomph. And there's the other McLaren. Cepeda without his front wing, and as you can see, Cabeza struggling. The front two already have a significant gap, Danny and Rosella. This shot here would demonstrate it. They are gone. A little bit of gap between Wedding and Alex, and Kuchishny as well. Ross running wide there. And then damaged cars beyond that. These two were the class of the field in qualifying, and already 3-second gap between second and third. Here we go. The run for double left-hander, the final two corners. And then Ross running wide there. And a finger door. And a massive gap here to Norwat. Timon. Norwat doesn't appear to have too much damage. He's on the hard tyre though. Looks like he's stuck behind these. Both McLarens without front wings now, as well as Lomph. Of course, Cabeza Speed without a rear wing and front wing. It'll also have suspension damage too, one would imagine. So they're going to be in the pits for a little while, but a disaster for McLaren as we've got to replay the start here. So slightly better start from Wedding, which doesn't take much compared to his previous ones. And yeah, it looks like the Williams just come over a little bit there. The Williams Cabeza Speed got a great start, but it's just come across, drifted a little bit. It's just unfortunate that the damage that everyone's picked up there. The Mercedes of Lomph tried to sort of get out of the way, and you can see Kuchizny there. It's that Norwat just trying to split in between them and avoided the drama. As we've got race out of the pits, had a race for the lead as well. Rosella looks like he's just quicker than Danny, but of course, dirty air and track position is vital around here. Kuchizny's got the run on Alex here. He's ran wide in the final turn as Alex, and AlphaTauri would jump up into position 4. Of course, they're 5 seconds away from a podium spot, but this, you would imagine, would be an attritional race as Brendan Ross, he's ran wide at the bridge, and that's going to drop him down one spot. He's just ahead of Cabeza Speed, who is of course a lap down after repairing all his damage. And Ross is locked up again there, struggling big time in the Haas. Cabezo's put the soft tyres on. He's just going to try and go as fast as he can to the end of the race. He will probably make another pit stop, one would imagine. And Lomph has already picked up the penalty for track limits. It's very early on here on lap 5. The two McLarens here battling. They're up the inside, a little bit wide there from Timon. And Cepeda having a look. Both on the hard tyres. But it's interesting to see if they try and make it to the end of the race. As despite it being quite warm here in Singapore, track temp is low, fairly low. As Danny and Rosella continue to streak away out in front. But he's not going as slowly as he was in the first couple of laps, but still second a lap plus slower. And then he's 10 seconds clear of Guzhizny. He's got Alex right behind him. So battle for first, battle for fourth. And this is Lomph coming in to serve his drive-through penalty. Just watched the line there, and even then he was actually a little bit quick on the way in, but has slowed up after to try and make up for it. Oh, and that's Ross. I reckon he must have grabbed the curb on the inside there, overcorrected, and into the barriers. And he's done it at a really awkward spot. He's going to have to do the whole lap without a front wing. We've got Rosella now right behind Danny. He's got DRS. And Danny knows where you can pass here. Parks his car right on the inside and then in the middle. But this is it. Rosella's close as he's been before. Danny will go defensive, you'd think he does. And going to try and force Rosella to go the long way here. And Danny breaks that a little bit later. Rosella going to try and go for the switchback. But again, not quite close enough. And he's going to have to try and set it up into turn one. But Rosella gets out of it. He's got the aero wash. And the aero wash is going to save Danny here. Because despite the DRS, Rosella not close enough. So he's going to have to try and set it up for this long sequence. Got Carbezo now. 4th position now after Ross has pitted to repair his car. And Ross is locked up again at the bridge. Down the escape road and to the back of the field, unfortunately. He is on the harder tyre. He may just be struggling. Oh, and Danny's wide here. This is going to be a chance for Rosella. Can he do it? No. You sort of balked a little bit because of where Danny was placed. He's going to have a look up the inside, but not quite close enough. So he's going to have to set it up again for the third last corner, or sequence of corners here. But again, not quite close enough. Danny getting the better run here. We are coming into the time where we are expecting some pit stops here. And Danny, anticipating possibly an undercut, has decided to come in. He's going to try and undercut Rosella himself. And at the same time, we've got a car off here. And that's Lone, who's had a rather busy start of the race. Drive through penalty, some damage on the first lap. So we're on board Alex here, trying to chase after the AlphaTauri of Disney. He's able to stick with the AlphaTauri despite getting passed earlier on here. And we've got Rosella now. Late call to dive into the pits. He stayed out a few laps longer, so he will come out behind Danny. But of course, he will have, I think, 3 laps better tyres. Now, will Wedding stay out here? He's got a large gap behind as we jump to him. He's got a large gap behind to Disney, so he could stay out here. And he does stay out. Danny is going very quickly indeed. He will retake what is the effective race lead with Rosella a few seconds behind. But what will Alpine do with Wedding, who's out in front at the moment, but on much older tyres, as we've got... Oh, that's Ross. He's made another mistake, outbroke himself. He's got a bit of damage. He's down the escape road. And he's out. He's had enough. But, Wedding leads here on lap 18. Still yet to pit. Kuzhisny behind him has pitted, as has Alex. And that gap now 1.5 seconds between Wedding and Danny. So Kuzhisny, will he stay out in front of Alex? It's going to be very, very tight here on the exit. But of course that inside run is much, much slower than the one on the racing line. And the Red Bull, does it take it? He does. Sweeps around the outside. And Alex will jump back up into position number 4. So the undercut doing him wonders there. And Danny's caught Wedding, but Wedding has ran wide here. But again, it's awkward for Danny. So the roles reversed this time for him. And Wedding will go defensive as Kuzhisny's got to drive through for speeding in the pit lane. So it's all happening. Wedding goes defensive. Slows Danny down just a bit. That gap between Danny and Rosella is going to come right down. Shades of Abu Dhabi 2021 here. And Rosella, fastest lap of the race to boot as well. The gap's almost a second, 1.3 seconds. It's going to be less than that as they get to the next DRS zone. Wedding is taking normal lines. He's not really blocking all that heavily. It's just so difficult to pass here at Singapore, at the Alpine. A bit of teamwork, a bit of sacrificing of his race for Wedding. He's going to go defensive, but Danny's going to try and sweep around the outside here. Who breaks the latest? They're about the same, but Danny's got the better tyres and Wedding gets straight out of it. So clearly a team ploy from Alpine, and Rosella has caught that gap up, and it is battle on for the race victory here. So what can Rosella do now? His teammate's given him a massive help there. Of course, he does have 3 laps better tyres than Danny, and one would suggest he's got better pace. He didn't have a good qualifying session. Was only able to set a lap right at the end, and even then it was a scruffy lap by his standards. He's got the DRS here. He's having a look. He's just trying to fox Danny into a slight mistake. Danny keeps his cool. As Kachizny now leaves the pits. Just in front of Vengador. Vengador's got the hard tyre on though, which I don't think is the optimal tyre around here. Medium and soft seem to be going quite well on most runners. Hard tyre just a little bit too hard. Got Cepeda in the pit, so he's taken his hard tyres off and he's put some softs on to the end. And he's going to come out behind his teammate here, I would think, and maybe behind Norwat as well. And it's going to be tight. Norwat's got the outside run. He can get on the power that little bit earlier and he'll sweep around. And Norwat jumps ahead on Cepeda there. On a big slide there for Timon, and he's going to lose 1 position. Now, does he let his teammate by? Oh, they're going to sort of battle here into the corner, but he does back out of it in the end. And Lewis Wedding, he's got a drive through, speeding in the pit lane as well. There's some dramas going on there down there for a number of runners in regards to the pit lane. Oh, and a little bit of a mistake there for Norway. He's run a little bit wide, but it's also balked Cepeda a little bit. But the DRS giving him a massive hand here. Now, can Cepeda pull it up? He can, and Norwat's gone down the escape road. And he's come straight back on as Timon is coming around the corner as well. He's going to battle into the corner. No, he's going to back it out. So Timon now also moves up. So losing positions to both McLarens there. It's right on board Cabeza speed. And all over the curves is Norwat. And Cabeza, that is for position as well. He has caught these guys up after early dramas. And gets himself some more points as we're right behind Danny here, as we're right on board with Luke Rosella. Danny having to go defensive in a complex. You don't really want to have to go defensive. You're going to cost him time here. Luke Rosella having a look. Danny's wide again, but there's not a long enough run here to make him pay. So Danny's going to hold on. But this battle for the lead heating up, only, well, less than 7 laps to go now. 6.5 laps to go. And Rosella getting more and more desperate. They've got a massive lead over Alex here. But you never know. Wedding fastest lap of the race on his fresh set of tyres. Danny's going to go defensive. Rosella going to try the outside. He's going to try the switch back as well. But Danny sees it coming. Rosella right there. Rosella goes for the old switch back. He's going to try the outside again. But again, Danny able to hold on. Rosella not able to make it stick around the outside. And that dirty air, that final complex of corners we saw early in the race, dampening his chances. As Cabeza speed is caught Timon now, and he's going to go for the inside. He's deep under brakes. He is well wide, and Norway's hit the back of the McLaren, and then Cabeza's hit the back of the AlphaTauri, and then they've made slight contact as well again with Timon. So a little bit of bumper car action here at Singapore. And in the end, Cabeza speed getting up to P8. And he's run a little bit wide there. It's going to open the door for Timon, who left DRS. Oh, they've made contact on the bridge. And does get out of it. As back on board Rosella, and Danny is missed the apex there. This is another chance for Rosella. He's going to go the inside. He's got the optimum position here. He's just going to pull it up, and he's locked a brake, and Danny will get back by. So one would feel that was a golden opportunity for Rosella. But Danny holds on. A locked brake for Rosella. He won't get many more opportunities here. Only 5.5 laps to go here. And Wedding here, that was going on. Having a look at the back of the Red Bull. The Red Bull's locked up. Well, I don't know if it locked up. May have locked up. May have let him through. I couldn't really tell there. But Wedding now back up to P3. So cut back to the battle between the McLaren, the Williams, and the AlphaTauri. Tymon, Norwet, and Cabeza Speed. And Cabeza having a look up the inside. AlphaTauri seeing him come and lets him go, but he's having a look. Here's Norwet. This Cabeza just bounces over the curb there. And some spotty yellow flags out there, so some drivers possibly running wide. And seeing some drivers here. Both Tymon and Cabeza getting loose on the exit of corners. So they're trying hard, these guys. So his rear tyres put to work here. And he's having a look. His Cabeza. He's going to try and force a mistake. But not this time around for Tymon. Tymon holding on. And we've got Kosciuszny. He's missing both his wings here. Where has he done that? So that is significant damage. He was running in a comfortable position 5, and that's going to drop him almost to the back of the field. So here we go. Oh, he's turned in too early for the last, I guess you could call it last corner. Hit the anti-cut curb, and here we go. Bang! Straight in the wall. That is heavy, heavy contact. So that is, well, not only wing damage, he would have suspension damage with that as well. So that car would be crabbing a bit as we jump back to Rosella and Danny here. And he forced to go defensive once again. But Rosella, as close as he's been here at the final complex of corners, and Danny's made a slight mistake. Rosella's got the DRS. This is his chance. He goes for the inside. Can he pull it up for turn 1? He pulls it up this time just. Danny has a look, but Rosella holds on. But Danny will have the DRS, of course, after turn 5. He's just got to stay close enough here, the Aston Martin driver, but he doesn't. Rosella gets a good exit, immediately pulls to the inside, starts swerving around to try and break the toe. And one feels that if Rosella can just keep through this corner, he has missed the apex, but he's got good drive out of there as well, so doesn't lose too much time. But Danny's got to get by him straight away if he wants to win this race, one feels. Replay here because the Cabeza speed and time in here. It's gonna have a look. You don't see many passes into what was the Singapore sling, but he's got it done. Oh, and there was Norwet very slow there as Kosciuszny leaves the pit. Got Norwet also has decided to pit. They want to go fast, put some fresh tyres on. Got the two Mercedes here. So Lomph here is battling Norwet in front. And oh, he's finally realised that Lomph was actually for position. There was two Mercedes there, and they made a little bit of contact there, but Lomph, very, very sneaky, able to get the job done. Norwet has a look up the inside. But not quite close enough. But he does have the fresh tyres, so Norwet, you feel, does have the advantage in this battle with those fresh tyres. And Rosella is just moved out of DRS range here, just out of the 1 second mark. And where's Danny gone? He's dropped back a few seconds there. I don't know if he's made a mistake. The camera cut away for a second. Rosella, fastest lap of the race. Could be a vital point here. in the Constructors' Championship. As we've got the two Mercedes battling out here. So Loaf obviously wants it going to move on because he's battling for position. Vengador's not really battling anybody out there. And Norvat is trying to split in between the two Mercedes. He's going to have a look again here, is Norvat. So not really going to pass into these seconds of corners. So he's got to try and set it up for a DRS zone. But running out of time. They are a lap down, so they've only got one lap to go, these guys. And that's Kazuzny in front of him. Oh, and Kazuzny's done it again! The exact same, except this time he wasn't going quite as fast. So he hasn't ripped the wings off, but he's going to have damage on that car. And yeah, there you go. You can see, thought I saw some sparks there, and he's tried turning left, and it's just not turning at all. That right front suspension heavily damaged. And, well, it was going to be a great race, but it's not a good race. But this is a great race for Luke Rosella. Did it the hard way, but takes victory for Alpine. And the Alpine Australian domination continues as Norwat's got a drive-through penalty. Danny will finish in P2. Norwat's going for the move on Loaf here, but in the end, it's not really going to matter for him because he's got that drive-through penalty, and if he crosses the line, it'll be plus 25 seconds. So he's probably going to jump out of the points if his teammate is fast enough. So Norwat will be 10th across the line with Loaf in 9th, but it's going to come down to 25 seconds that gets added on if you cross the line. If you get a penalty within the last 3 laps and don't serve it. So Rosella the race winner, Danny in 2nd, and we're just awaiting Alex and Carboza Speed, Timon and Kazuznik to cross the line. So Kazuznik does indeed jump ahead of his teammate despite having severe damage on his car. And as you can see, Rosella very happy with that result. His teammate helped him out quite a bit.